What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. During the last part, we had a very strange Buu saga. There were some familiar elements such as Majin Buu being there and Majin Vegeta, but things started changing very quickly. And the consequences of the last part will actually carry on to this part and to the rest of the story. But what exactly happened? What are we going to be seeing going forward? Well, that's what we're going to discuss today, and then some. For this part, let's set a like goal of 2,500 likes. Once we hit that, I'll continue with another part of the series. Anyways, let's pick it from here. So this Vegeta, is he really Vegeta? Well, yeah, he is, but not in the same way that they actually knew. He's not the same Vegeta, he's a different one. The evil within him, it was cleansed when that other Buu died. He doesn't know how or why, but this is the good in him. Somehow there was a little bit of that in there. Some part of him that wasn't really completely unclean. And who knows, it might have just been Buu that kept him alive, because we do know there was a good part of Buu. Vegeta doesn't even know himself, he didn't realize that there was any of this within him. And no one could really theorize either. Vegeta always loved to proclaim that he was pure evil, but maybe there was a little bit of good in there. And obviously with good Buu, that also helped. But since most of him was evil, and a lot of his power also came from Buu, who was also a lot of evil, that means a lot of his power is gone as well. He's much weaker than before. A lot of his power, whether that be Buu's or his own, that's all gone now. But he's at peace. Good Buu and Vegeta are one. Neither of them exist separately anymore, they're just one person. Shin and Kibito are kind of amazed to learn this too, but yeah, that kind of makes sense. They watched Buu split up into good and evil. And if that same thing happened again with Vegeta, with that other Buu dying, that explains why the evilness isn't there anymore. And even though a lot of Vegeta's power's gone, he doesn't care too much. Like I said, he's at peace now. This is actually a much better existence for him. All the negative aspects of him, they're gone. For the first time in his life, he feels good. So, what's going to happen with him now? The group is a bit hesitant to keep him around, but Vegeta's actually going to stay on Earth for now. Even if he does cause trouble, which they kind of doubt, he is weaker after all, so they will be able to stop him if needed. But given some time on Earth, the group could see that Vegeta actually is different. This isn't just some sort of act or whatever. Every bit of evil in him is gone. This is the start of something new, not just for Vegeta, but for everybody. And that's not the only peace that they see. There's just a lot of peace in general. After Buu, there's not much going on Earth. No threats coming their way, nothing like that. It gives RADITZ a lot of time to return back to his normal activities, because it has been a while. He really misses biking and going to bars and stuff. And you know what? He can give up training for a bit. He's confident in his strength. He's overcome that part of him that always felt so weak. I mean, think about how much his life has turned around. He's stronger, more confident. He's on good terms with his brother and the rest of his family. And even though it wasn't the most ideal way, they got rid of Vegeta. No longer have to deal with that or worry about it. Time goes on as normal. At some point, Beerus will reawaken. And naturally he's going to be led to Earth trying to find the Super Saiyan God. Vegeta is terrified to see him. Even if this is kind of a different Vegeta, he still retains the memories of Vegeta. And not to mention, Vegeta probably did mention Beerus to Raditz at some point. At least back in their normal Saiyan days. So Raditz might have an idea of who this guy is. But no one else does. Goku's excited to fight him, but the other two pure Saiyans are terrified. But Beerus notes something strange about Vegeta's presence. He can't put his finger on it, but something's off about him. And Vegeta explains, telling him about everything that happened with Majin Buu. Beerus thinks this sounds absolutely insane, but it also sounds interesting. If Vegeta did retain some of those powers, maybe he could be a good rival, maybe even a Super Saiyan God. And Vegeta doesn't know what to think of this, but Beerus wants to actually try and fight him now. Of course, Vegeta knows he's not going to stand a chance, but he'll at least try. It will be a good way to test his powers out because he can go full power against Beerus and not worry about killing anyone. He has been training in the meantime, trying to get a better grasp on this power because there was a lot that came with Buu's powers. Even though Vegeta lost some of his own strength, he gained new abilities, and he found a new type of strength with magic. He powers up, as if he were to go Super Saiyan, but he doesn't go Super Saiyan. He has that same Majin looking form that he used before. His skin turns pink, and his hair turns white. He is essentially like Majin Buu now, which is really unique because now he can actually regenerate, and also stretch parts of his body out like Buu did. Cool. Of course, Beerus has no real frame of reference, but this form is pretty intriguing for a Saiyan form. It doesn't look anything like you'd expect from a Saiyan. But that makes sense given what Vegeta told him. A battle ensues, and Beerus does admit Vegeta is powerful, and his magical abilities, they're impressive. Vegeta says he did inherit them from Majin Buu after all, but now he's able to put his own spin on it, making them more him. The way he fights is completely different from before. Raditz and Goku can clearly see this too. It's especially interesting for Raditz that spent so much time with Vegeta beforehand, kinda knowing his fighting style, but that's completely changed. It really is a different Vegeta in so many more ways than they expected. But even though he could test out his full array of powers against Beerus, as well as his physical strength, it's still not enough. The God of Destruction is kinda pleased. He's a little bit impressed to see a mortal have this strength, but he's not too impressed. And the good thing is, since there's no Majin Buu here, it's just Vegeta, there's not going to be a Majin Buu to steal his food. so at least he's not going to be pissed off by some pudding incident or whatever. But he is still unimpressed, and he does want to find a Super Saiyan God. They have no idea of what to do, but they could use the Dragon Balls, summon Shenron, and ask about that. He even tries to fight Goku, Raditz, and Gohan, but nothing they could do can actually make Beerus impressed either. Super Saiyan 2 is cool, but against Beerus, it's kinda useless. So eventually they do resort to summoning Shenron, and he tells them about the ritual to become a Super Saiyan God, which is great because they actually do have enough people. Well, at first they think they don't, but since Videl's pregnant, that actually works. The ritual has the same group of people, but instead of Trunks, we have Raditz there. But who will the ritual actually be done on? Beerus interjects. He has an idea of who they should try first. Vegeta. He does sense a little bit of godly presence in him. That's why Beerus noted his energy felt strange. It's not just everything else about Vegeta, but there's a little bit of that godly presence. That's thanks to Buu and his relation to the Kais. It's very minute, but Beerus notes it is there, so maybe he's compatible with this. Well, they don't contest it. And it would be interesting to see Vegeta utilize this form, and if the ritual does work, they could try it on everyone else. But Vegeta definitely has a better chance of it working if this even does work. He is pure of heart too. So they all try and channel their energy into Vegeta, and it ends up working. Although the result is different than you'd probably expect. Since this is his first time accessing Super Saiyan God, it's not like it's going to be combined into his Majin form or whatever. It's actually separate. Vegeta turns into a relatively normal looking Super Saiyan God. They have no frame of reference of what a Super Saiyan God looks like, but you guys know what it looks like. But don't worry, Vegeta's going to be able to put his own unique twist on it soon. A battle ensues between him and Beerus, and he learns to control it pretty quickly, which is amazing for him. He didn't recognize that he could do that. His strength, his speed, his senses, and his magical abilities. They were great before, don't get me wrong, but now they're enhanced beyond belief. It makes for an explosive battle between him and the God of Destruction. Beerus has a lot more fun, and eventually would take Vegeta as a student. Well, at least a student for Whis. And it's strange because, given how Vegeta was basically the main villain of this entire scenario so far, now he's getting the best outcome. Raditz and Goku are left behind, which kinda sucks because it's an inverse of what's happened before. They see the end that Vegeta was on, not being able to have the best training methods, and now they're the ones that are missing out. I mean, he went to Yardrat, he has Majin Buu's powers now, he has a Super Saiyan God. It's incredible. It does take a while. They're gonna have to find some way to impress Beerus, and at some point, Beerus probably would end up taking that. Even though Vegeta's great, remember, a lot of Vegeta's original power was gone, so he was starting out from a different level than Raditz and Goku, and Beerus is kinda curious. He wants to see what they would be like as a Super Saiyan God. Of course, Vegeta did regain a lot of power once he got that ritual done, but before that ritual was done, he was weaker than Raditz and Goku. And that's the main reason Beerus is interested. Granted, they don't have the same magical abilities that Vegeta has, and whatever other powers that he got from Buu. They're just normal Saiyans, as normal as Super Saiyans can be. Although Vegeta did get a pretty crucial head start, and he closed that gap between them as well as making a new gap of his own. Because even when they get Super Saiyan God, first of all, they still gotta practice with it, and second of all, Vegeta's version of Super Saiyan God is kinda different from theirs. Especially because now he's trying to learn how to utilize his Majin powers as a Super Saiyan God. He's pretty confident with this upper hand. Of course, with him being purely good now, that confidence isn't gonna go to his head. If this were the Vegeta we knew before, well, everyone would be dead by now. But this Vegeta, it's just thrilling for him to be strong. He has no desire to use it maliciously. And that was another big thing that kind of concerned Raditz and Goku, but seeing Vegeta now utilizing this power more and more, and after all the years that passed since the Buu saga, it tells him that Vegeta truly has reformed. At some point, Resurrection F does occur. Although, there is a bit of a different outcome this time. On Earth, one really big thing to note is that Piccolo is stronger than before. Even with the differences between here and the main story, the things that have happened to Piccolo in the scenario so far have made him a lot stronger. Even though Raditz did leave Earth, that rivalry between those two is still continuing. And Piccolo's doing anything in his power to obtain more, power. He leads the charge against Frieza's army, and actually stepping up to the plate ready to fight Frieza himself. Over this time, he had considered what his future self did, fusing with Kami, but again, that's kind of a wasted effort at this point. He doesn't want them to lose the Dragon Balls, and also, he's confident in his own strength, his own potential. All the fusions he already has within him, plus the fact that he has the potential unlocked, he knows that he can get something. He continues training in the Room of Spirit and Time beforehand, and now against Frieza, he could finally show off his full strength. He went to Kami to see if it was possible to unlock his power even further. Kami wasn't able to do it, which is why Piccolo tried to brute force this potential out of him, and something amazing occurred. Against Frieza, he transforms. It's a very slight transformation, and Frieza doesn't even really notice the difference. But everyone else watching, especially Gohan, they're stunned. Piccolo's power was so far beyond where it was before. This is his full potential unlocked. At least his potential as of now. This is Ultimate Piccolo. From Beerus' planet, Frieza's resurrection is being monitored. I mean, they can't sense something going on Earth. And Vegeta's about to teleport everyone there, but it seems like there's no need. While they're watching, they notice Piccolo's new transformation. Raditz is stunned, as is everyone else, but mostly Raditz. He didn't realize how strong Piccolo's gotten so far. They watch. Frieza shows up in a completely new form, but even that's not enough to face Piccolo. Ultimate Piccolo overcomes Frieza, and even though it is a struggle, he wins, killing Frieza. For one, Raditz is glad to see Piccolo got so strong, but also, he's kinda pissed that he missed out on this. Not to mention, he missed out on killing Frieza a second time. That would have been really fun. Especially because he has something new up his sleeve too, someone that he could have tested out against Frieza. But it seems like he's gonna have to save it for another time. Although, it's not like he's gonna have to save it for too long, because soon enough, the Universe X tournament comes up. I think it's pretty obvious what the team's gonna be here. Goku, Vegeta, Raditz, Piccolo, and as the fifth member, well, they still do try to get Gohan, but maybe it's Monaka here. Everyone's excited to test out their strength. It seems like each person has something unique. Well, Goku and Raditz kinda have the same thing, but still, unique to them at least. Piccolo has his new ultimate form, and as for Vegeta, he has something kinda strange. First up is Raditz versus Potamo, and his gimmicks are kinda weird at first, but Raditz is able to knock him out pretty easily, just by going Super Saiyan. Next he's up against Frost, which surprises Raditz because he looks exactly like Frieza, and he wonders if he does have a final form. He's able to coax Frost into transforming, knowing that he has this higher power. He wants to see it used, and he tells Frost too. If he does this, he'll use his full power too. He won't hold anything back. It's a great way for them to test both of their strengths. So, Frost transforms, and then Raditz keeps up his end of the deal, also transforming, showing off a power that's kind of brand new to everybody else. Before the tournament, he, Goku, and Vegeta headed into the Room of Spirit and Time, just to get a little bit more practice with this. Well, at least for him and Goku, that is. Vegeta has something different, but he and Goku, they both have a new form which they just refer to as Super Saiyan Blue. After achieving Super Saiyan God, this is the next level, and he shows it off against Frost, and Frost is just speechless. He can't even sense the power in this, but he can tell it's strong, which is why he's about to resort to using his Poison Needle, but before he could even do so, Raditz completely outspeeds him. Frost tries to use all of his power, just to lunge towards Raditz and attack him, hit him with the Poison Needle, that's all he needs. But just as he executes the attack, Raditz is quick enough to parry it with perfection, and in that split second, he's moving so fast that Frost can't even perceive it. But he could perceive something too. He sees the needle sticking out of Frost's arm, which just makes Raditz kinda angry. But it doesn't matter, he completely avoids it, and with one attack, he knocks Frost out. Once Frost regains consciousness, he comments on this too. It's pathetic. He was going to try to cheat to win, but even so, he still ended up losing to Raditz's brute strength. It's sad because he was hoping that Frost was actually a good guy, but clearly he's not. He is just like Frieza. Next, Raditz is against Vegeta, and I mean, look at Raditz here. Look at this whole scenario. Raditz will be able to come up with an insult. I mean, it would be weird if he wasn't able to. The funniest part about that is he probably wouldn't even know that Vegeta has that weakness. He would just insult him by default, and yeah, an easy win with no effort. Strange, he wasn't expecting that. Next he's against Cabba. He's interested to see another Saiyan, but he doesn't care too much about the Saiyans. It's not like Vegeta in the main story. He gave up that lifestyle a long time ago. Raditz is his own person. He's not too in tune with his Saiyan identity anymore. He doesn't feel the need to teach Cabba anything to go Super Saiyan or whatever. They have a nice fight, but that's really it. Next, he faces Hit, and Hit's able to defeat Raditz pretty easily. Well, not too easily. At first, Raditz does show off his full strength, and it gives Hit a bit of a tough time. But once he works around Raditz's strength, his time skip along with his great technique allows him to defeat Raditz. And Raditz has no idea how that's even possible. Goku's looking forward to using one of his own things though. He has Blue Kaioken up his sleeve, but he's not going to be the one to face Hit. Vegeta's actually the one up next. And he comments on this. Raditz is actually the weakest of the three, which Raditz is kind of pissed about because he was so happy being ahead for so long, but now, he's not number one of the three of them. Although he does tell everyone, technically, in Super Saiyan Blue, he's stronger than Goku. Kakarot's only able to get ahead when he used that Kaio whatever technique, and this kind of pisses Goku off because he spoiled the surprise. Well, Raditz didn't need to defend himself. Vegeta ignores the bickering and immediately gets down to business. He knows he can't play around against Hit. He simply sticks a hand out, and balls of energy appear around Hit's hands and feet. He's lifted into the air, and he can't break free. Vegeta says it doesn't matter if he can time skip or not if he can't move at all. This is taking a lot of power to paralyze him. Hit is strong, it's not an easy task. But Vegeta has an opportunity to strike. He powers up. Instead of that bluish ki that Hit saw with Raditz, it's something different. He has a pinkish aura around him. He would love to utilize his Majin powers, but he didn't figure out how to use it with Super Saiyan God just yet. Although, he did figure out how to use Super Saiyan with Super Saiyan God. But for some reason, his version of it is pink. He doesn't know why, but he has Super Saiyan Rose. Due to Vegeta's weird nature right now, he technically is an actual deity. Obtaining that power from Buu, and by extension the Grand Supreme Kai and the South Supreme Kai, he has access to Super Saiyan Rose just like Goku Black did. And he's glad to have this power, but he still needs to go beyond it somehow. Hit eventually is able to break free of Vegeta's magic, but as soon as he does, Vegeta is able to attack with immense speed. Hit time skips just to move out of the way from it, but even with how fast he is, Vegeta predicts where he is next, landing a kick right in Hit's gut. It sends Hit flying up in the sky, and using the Kai Kai, Vegeta teleports upwards. Hit reacts as quickly as possible, trying to hit Vegeta with an attack, but before he can, he's hit with a Big Bang attack, knocking him clean out of the ring. Vegeta takes the win here, powering back down, happy to show off his power, but expecting a little more of a fight. Whatever, he had fun at least. Although everyone had fun watching the tournament, well, there was one person that didn't really like watching it, someone who got infuriated by it. A Kai from Universe 10. He will make these mortals pay. We head back to Earth. Time has passed since the tournament, and something strange happens. A time machine appears in front of Capsule Corp, just like the one that they saw before during the Cell Saga. Two familiar faces jump off. This isn't a good sign. They see future Gohan and future Piccolo once again. Things have gotten bad once more. Really bad. And this is where we'll leave off for now. So, what you guys think about this part? What do you think's gonna happen next time? We set up a lot of pretty unique stuff here, so expect a lot of crazy stuff in the next part. And be sure to leave some thoughts or suggestions in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like. And let's try to hit that like goal from the beginning of the video so we can get another part of the series. If you haven't already, why not subscribe? As well as hitting the bell icon so you're notified about any future uploads on my channel, including more parts of the series or any other videos like it. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.